important development related to the challenge to the Electoral Bond scheme, the Supreme Court of India today agreed to hear a petition challenging the recent notification of the central government which authorized the sale of a fresh tranche of electoral bonds for the assembly elections in the states of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. The petition was mentioned today before the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, for urgent listing. The concerned council sought urgent listing stating that the sale of electoral bonds will be over very soon. Accordingly, CJI Chandrachud agreed to list the matter before the appropriate bench. As per the recent notification of the central government, the sale of electoral bonds is allowed from November 9th to November 15th. This fresh notification amended the scheme to provide an additional period of 15 days for the sale of electoral bonds in the year of general elections to the legislative assemblies of states and union territories with legislature. For those of you who are unaware of this issue, electoral bonds are an instrument through which anyone can donate money to political parties. Electoral bonds are essentially bearer instruments like banknotes and are sold in multiples of rupees 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh and even 1 crore. Such bonds can be bought from authorized branches of the State Bank of India. The Electoral Bond scheme was essentially introduced through the Finance Act of 2017, which in turn amended 3 other statutes, the RBI Act, the Income Tax Act, and the Representation of People Act, for enabling introduction of such bonds. The scheme was introduced by the BJP government, and the central idea behind introduction of such a scheme was to bring about transparency in electoral funding in our country. However, with the passage of time, the biggest criticism of the electoral bond scheme is that it does exactly the opposite of what it was meant to do, that is, bring transparency to electoral funding. An amendment to the Finance Act of 2017 allowed the union government to exempt political parties from disclosing donations received through such electoral bonds. In addition to that, electoral bonds also provide a level of anonymity to the donors. We have made a detailed explainer on the electoral bond scheme, the link to which has been given in the description box below. Please do check it out for more information. However, this is not the first time that judicial intervention has been sought when it comes to the electoral bond scheme and the challenge to it. After the introduction of the electoral bond scheme, several petitions had been filed in the Supreme Court of India by political party Communist Party of India, Marxist and NGOs like Common Cause and Association for Democratic Reforms, challenging the electoral bond scheme for being an obscure funding system which is unchecked by any authority. Back in March 2021, the top court had dismissed an application seeking a stay on the sale of electoral bonds. As recent as on October 14th, a bench of the Supreme Court comprising Justices B.R. Gavai and B.V. Nagaratna had posted these petitions for hearing to December 6th. Thank you. I'm Aratrika Bhomik for LiveLaw. Keep watching LiveLaw for more such updates.